Welcome back to Start Your Day. Whoopi Goldberg says, hey, y'all can stop tweeting her. She gets it. She was wrong for the comments she made about the Holocaust on The View because the digital streets, you know how social media is, they came for her on this one.
The Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race.
Ethnicity.
No, it's about
a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man.
Yeah, that's what she got it for. After the show, she tweeted an apology saying she's sorry for the hurt she caused and said she should have said the Holocaust was about both race and inhumanity. And last night, Whoopi appeared on Stephen Colbert's show. She said, quote, as a black person, I think of race as being something that I can see. And a lot of, you know, this is a mistake, and she misspoke about this. So I'm glad she came out and she apologized for it because, yeah, the Holocaust was about race because that's how Hitler and the Nazis viewed the Jewish people at that time. And, you know, a lot of people look at Jewish people and you think white skin, white complexion. But, you know, when it comes to white supremacy, that's about race. And so I'm happy that Whoopi, who does a great job on The View and who's a good friend of the show as well and who supports us, came out and apologized for that, because there are times that we are very passionate about topics around here and we have good intentions. And like she said, it was about the inhumanity of people as well. But yes, race did play a major factor back then, because once again, it was about white supremacy and Hitler's view as the white man as the superior race. The pure white man is the superior race. So yeah, we got to be careful with our words sometimes, even when we have great intentions, Naja.
Right. And, you know, if you followed Whoopi, as many of us have, you know that there's not an anti-Semitic bone in her body. In fact, a lot of people might know that Whoopi actually converted to Judaism. So she is actually a Jew by choice and has been very outspoken, that the Jewish community has been incredibly supportive of her. But, you know, we all learn and we grow. Just because she herself is a black Jewish woman doesn't mean that there's not room for growth. And I think she's come to the table. She said, I'm still learning. You know, as a black woman, she often, you know, identified racism and race as something that's determined by the color of your skin. But right, we know that Hitler's doctrine defined Jews as a race. And I want to go back to what this all centers around, because sometimes we can lose focus in the internet noise. But this came after Monday's episode of The View, and they were discussing efforts to ban books across the country that include a book called Mouse, and it's a novel about the Holocaust. So that's what all this centers around. And it sort of reminded me, or was reminiscent of, the debate that we're having now in the black culture about the teachings of critical race theory. So I think that there are so many similarities when we talk about the struggle of the Jewish people and really the struggle of the black people. You know, Hitler defining his ideology, defining Jews as a race. We have to remember he also wanted to get rid of black Germans, people with disabilities, Jehovah's Witnesses, homosexuals, you know, when he annihilated 6 million Jews. So yes, I think that Whoopi has learned from the situation, and yeah, I take her at her word. I take her for her apology.
Absolutely, yeah. She didn't mean no ill intent. We all know that, and she came out and apologized about that. But you're right. The way Hitler viewed anybody that was outside of the white, pure Aryan nation, they were his enemies, and he wanted to annihilate everybody. It's kind of crazy, but here we are in 2022, and there are so many people here right in this country who believe the same thing. And if you really want to go after somebody, the people on it, and I know a lot of people are, don't get me wrong, but think about all the people who use Auschwitz and had the flag waving in the Capitol on January 6th. And think about the man who once again came out over the weekend and said he wanted to pardon these people if he was president again. Think about that. Think about the people, some of the key words and some of the dog whistles that are being used out there when it comes to some of the district attorneys around the country that is going after them right now. The prosecuting attorneys, I should say, that's going after him right now when it comes to voting rights in Georgia, when it comes to his business practices in New York, and he's going after these attorneys right now, and the things that he's saying about them, and he's saying that he's calling them racist, and now they're needing FBI protection or asking for FBI protection. So here we are, we're talking about that, what Hitler did when it came to the Holocaust, and obviously what happened in the Holocaust is not what's happening right now, or slavery, but at the same time, some of the same ideologies and some of the same talking points are being used by a lot of the supporters that came on January 6th to try and get you-know-who back in office illegally.
Yeah.
So think about that. Spend all that time and all that energy going after them so that we can stop this from happening again.
Absolutely. And I think we've seen, a dramatic rise in all types of hate groups, anti-Semitic groups, anti-Black groups, and we know what it stems from. So it's time to turn the corner.